Hello everybody, this is Frank Zalbali and welcome to race number 16 of the 2020-21 NROL Goldfish Truck Series season. This is the Eldora Dirt Derby at Eldora Speedway. So we all know how exciting this season has been, and now it's time to throw these guys on the dirt. Since this is a short track, only a limited number of drivers can race. For this track, that limit has been capped at 30, so some drivers will have to go home early. With that being said, here's the event format. We'll start with 4 heat races. The top 5 finishers in each heat will fast track to the A main, and everyone else will have to go to the B main. The winner of each heat race will earn 5 championship points. Once the B main is set, the top 10 finishers in that race will advance to the A main, and the winner of that race will earn 3 championship points. Then the main event will commence. So with that being said, let's begin. Here we go for heat race number 1 here at Eldora. Alright, starting the pole for this one is Stuart Freeze on time. Second is John Hunter Nemechek. Third is Marshall Burrow. Fourth is Zane Smith. Fifth is Tyler Ankrum. Sixth is Carson Hocevar. Seventh is Tom Majeski. Eighth is Grant Finger. Ninth is Raphael Lassard. 10th is Brendan Poole. 11th is Corey Roper. And 12th is Cody Rollbow. Eldora Speedway. That's what this place is. Alright, here race number 1. And also quite fitting that Stuart Friesen is starting on pole position for this one, as Stuart Friesen is a pretty good dirt racer. So, wouldn't be much of a surprise if he won today's race. Anyway, it's time to go dirt racing for the first and only time this season in this series. Special race weekend. And green flag is in the air for heat race number 1 in Eldora. So Friesen getting out to a bit of a lead here at the start. Marshall Burrow also getting a pretty good run on John Hunter Nemechek on the bottom lane. And Marshall Burrow with the pass on John Hunter Nemechek for second. That's still starting to close up a little bit. And Tom Majeski getting into the final transfer spot. Here comes Raphael Lassard though. Lassard trying to guarantee himself a spot in the main event. The top 5 for the moment is Friesen, Burrow, Nemechek, Ankrum, and Tom Majeski. Oh, but here's Raphael Lassard trying to make a difference here. Raphael Lassard going for that final transfer spot. And Tom Majeski to the high line, and Raphael Lassard now into the top 5. Ooh, he's gonna try to pick up another spot here. Oh, he slips up the track a little bit though. Now, while these cars don't get as sideways as your regular dirt lane models or anything like that, they can still be a bit tricky to handle. As here comes Tom Majeski, who's trying to pull a bit of a crossover move on Raphael Lassard. Quite the battle for the final transfer spot in this race with 5 laps to go in this heat race. Meanwhile, some battling happening up, okay, actually it's not much battling. No, the battle is back here. As Raphael Lassard loses control of his car a little bit, as Cody Rollbow going to try to sneak on by. Cody Rollbow doesn't run the race, is now up to 6 to try to chase down Tom Majeski. But might be a little bit too late for that, but, well, maybe not. We'll see. So, 3 laps to go in heat race number 1, and Cody Rollbow trying to run down Tom Majeski. Meanwhile, there's a battle going on now for 4th, or for 3rd between Tyler Ankrum and John Hunter Nemechek. And Tyler Ankrum, while he doesn't really need to, he is going to try to pick up a spot, and he does. Tyler Ankrum picks up a spot on John Hunter Nemechek. And meanwhile, Raphael Lassard getting back around Cody Rollbow. And the race for the final transfer spot is on. As Raphael Lassard continues to try to get up to Tom Majeski. 1 more left to go in heat race number 1. And Tom Majeski trying to hold off Raphael Lassard, a couple of drivers who haven't had very good seasons. And Stuart Friesen is going to win heat race number 1 at Eldora, and John Hunter Nemechek is going to overpower Tyler Ankrum to the line. And we're in the race for third. And it's Tom Majeski who holds him off. And will finish in fifth and will lock himself into the main event right off the bat. So, your winner, Stuart Friesen, with much road come up second, John Nemechek in third, Tiger in fourth, and Tom Majeski on the top five. Those five will all be going straight to the A-Main. And Stuart Friesen as well, going to pick up some extra championship points for winning the C race. And considering the rest of the field, you have oh my gosh. Considering the rest of the field, you have Rafael starting in 6th, Brendan Poole 7th, Cody Robaugh in 8th, Carson Osafar in 9th, Saint Smith 10th, Corey Roper 11th, and Grant Infinger 12th. All those guys will have to go to the B main, and we'll build a little bit extra work to do tonight. So, with that in mind, let's bring on Heat Race number 2. Okay, here we go for Heat Race number 2. So, starting the poll for this one is Zachary DeLolo on the side. Second is Ben Rhodes. Third is Todd Gillen. Fourth is Brett Moffitt. Fifth is Sheldon Creed. Sixth is Paul Jackson. Seventh is Johnny Sauter. Eighth is Shayla Smith. Ninth is also myself. 10th is Spencer Boyd. 11th is Nelly Decker. And 12th is Jennifer Jo Cobbs. A couple girls in this race. Yeah, one who is a bit young and the other who's been around for a little while. But still just as slow. So, with that in mind, who will be the next 5 drivers to move on to the main event? And who will have to work a little bit harder? What we're going to find out here in a moment. Page truck pulls off. And green flag in the air for Heat Race number 2 at Eldora. Zach DeLillo pulling out to a bit of a lead here. Todd Gillen, though, going right to the bottom lane. And is trying to pull away for second. Meanwhile, drivers in the high lane struggling a little bit. And now it is Johnny Sauter up to 5th. And Sauter, who was pretty high up in the point standings, wants to keep this momentum going. Actually, no, he's in 4th. 5th place is actually his teammate, Ben Rhodes. So a couple of ThorSport trucks trying to avoid going to the B main. But here comes Nelly Decker, who's now moved her way up to the pack. We'll call out battling here. Sheldon Creed and these 4 guys doing some various battling. As Ben Rhodes trying to get around his teammate Johnny Sauter. A couple previous winners from this season, not giving each other an inch despite being teammates. But they are pretty close to that final transfer spot. As Ben Rhodes is in that final transfer spot. And he's going to go underneath his teammate of Johnny Sauter. That's going to put Johnny Sauter into a bit of a risky place, as he now risks being overtaken by Nelly Decker. 4 laps to go. And Johnny Sauter now in the final transfer spot. But Sauter not doing a bad job at holding off Nelly Decker. 3 laps to go. And Zachary DeLillo starts the race on pole. He's going to pull away some more. Two laps to go. And Johnny Sauter is going to hold it out in 5th. Doing a pretty good job staying ahead of Nelly Decker. Oh, he's might try to overtake his teammate here with 1 lap to go. And Johnny Sauter going to pull a crossover move on his teammate Ben Rhodes. And Ben Rhodes now in the final transfer spot. And Zachary DeLillo going to win Heat Race number 2 at Eldora. And meanwhile, Johnny Sauter Ben Rhodes is going to bring up the final transfer spot. So there you go, Zacardillo with a win. That's going to mean some points. That's because another pace lap, I suppose. So more bonus points going to Zacardillo for winning heat race number 2. Sheldon Creek comes home in second. Todd Gill in third. Jonas Warren in fourth, and Ben Rhodes in fifth, making the race as well. And then the rest of the field, Nine Decker comes home at 6th, Shannon Smith 7th, Jennifer Jo Cobb 8th, Paul Jackson 9th, Bear Moffat 10th, Spencer Boyd 11th, and also Wayne South in 12th. Those guys will all be going to the B main. So with that in mind, time to bring on heat race number 3. Time for heat race number 3. So your start grid for this one: Matt Cravington on the pole. Alongside second is Cody Quivland. Third is Christian Vargas. Fourth is Austin. Fifth is William Seaman. Sixth is Mitch Collins. Seventh is Tanner Gray. Eighth is Spence Davis. Ninth is Jordan Anderson. 10th is Haley Deegan. And 11th is Corbin Forrester. And yes, that is right. Haley Deegan is racing today at Eldora. So Haley Deegan, she's a pretty good dirt racer, pretty much used to this thing. And Haley Deegan actually competing over in the ARCA series this year. But she's decided to run a couple races for DJ Crossley in the truck series. Well, that's actually her first of 2 starts this year. And of course, it made perfect sense for her to make her first truck series start ever at Eldora, as we are underway for year race number 3. Matt Crafton, I think he's the third of 4 Doorsport drivers to make the A-Main. Now, making the A-Main shouldn't be too much of a challenge tonight, because even if you don't finish in the top 5 in the heat races, still shouldn't be much of a challenge to finish top 10 in the B-Main later on, or however many are going to be moving on. But Matt Crafton did a pretty good job at the start of the film, although he's got Christian Vargas not too far behind him. So we haven't actually seen too many intense battles for the lead so far in this heat races, and that win of the heat race is still valuable because you will get a couple of championship points out of that one. And meanwhile, Tanner Gray makes his way up to the field, and Cody Quivland, who is pretty up in points, is now facing having to go to the B main as he's overtaken by Jordan Anderson, who's going to try to get up to Tanner Gray. And Jordan Anderson make his way up to the field. Meanwhile, we can see a bit of a three-way battle for the lead here, as Jordan Anderson is now into the final transfer spot, and Tanner Gray, who we don't talk about very much, as well, is in the top 5 for now. We'll see how long he can stay there. Meanwhile, a bit of a battle for 6. Corbin Forrester making his way around Cody Quivland, and Haley Deegan making her way up to the field as well. Haley Deegan, while a good dirt racer, wasn't the fastest in qualifying. And meanwhile, we should be seeing a bit of a battle for the lead, but Matt Crafton doing a nice job here holding off Christian Vargas and William Seaman. By the way, it turns out that it was Christian Vargas who got his first win last time out at the Armory Digital Super Speedway. And hey, he might go back to back if he can win tonight. Well, he's got a pretty good shot at doing so if he can make the A-Main. Looks like he will with 2 laps to go. And 2 completely different tracks too. You know, we go from a high-speed, long, big super speedway to a half-a-mile dirt track. Anyway, so Haley Deegan just made her way around Corbin Forrester, and is now trying to chase down Jordan Anderson. But we got 1 lap to go. 1 more lap for Haley Deegan to catch up to Jordan Anderson and go straight to the A-Main. But she's gotta be a bit quicker than this. And she might send it going into this corner here. And here comes Haley Deegan. And she's not going to be able to do it. And it is Matt Crafton who holds off the field and will win heat race number 3 at Eldora. And unfortunately for Haley Deegan, she's going to come up 1 spot short from making the A-Main right off the bat, and she will have to try a little bit harder going into the B main later on tonight. So with that in mind, Matt Crafton is your winner for today. In fact, 3 times today we've actually seen the leader go on to win the heat race, because it seems like the guy in second just can't get up to them in time. So Matt Crafton comes on with the victory in heat race number 3, and we'll pick up some bonus championship points. Christopher Ruckus comes home in second, William Seaman third, Tanner Gray at fourth, and Joe Anderson running out the top 5. And Anderson, yeah, a guy I don't usually talk about. He is going straight to the A main. And considering the rest of the field, you got Haley Deegan in 6th, Corbin Forrester in 2nd, Cody Quill by 8th, Mitch Collins 9th, Spence Davis in 10th, and also 11th. Some actually heavy hitters from this season all having to go to the B main and work a little bit harder. So with that in mind, let's bring on the 4th and final heat race of the night. Alright, time for heat race number 4. So starting the pole for this one is Adam Garcia, alongside second is Derek Krause, third is Chase Dunbar, fourth is Sam Mayer, fifth is Isaac Nordic, sixth is Christian Edkes, seventh is Logan Cole, eighth is Gayla Downey, ninth is Tate Fogelman, 10th is Tim Gaines, and 11th is Angelica Rush. So it's got 4 girls racing tonight. Angelica Rush, the 4th one. However, so far none of them have qualified for the A main so far. So let's see what Angelica Rush can do in this race, and of course the rest of the field as well. Right. So pace truck pulls off, and here we go. Green flag in the air for heat race number 4. Adam Garcia pulling away. Well, here is Chase Dunbar in second. Couple Nintendo trucks trying to fight for some extra bonus points. Isaac Nordic, though, not going to make matters any better for Chase Dunbar, as he's underneath him. Actually, everyone's trying to pile in now. Logan Cole in the following transfer spot. And here's Isaac Nordic trying to go for some bonus points. As seen tonight, though, the leader has gone, or the pole sitter has gone to win the heat race. Can Isaac Nordic, though, come in and stop that from happening tonight? Meanwhile, Derek Krause in a pretty dangerous position. Derek Krause in the following transfer spot is getting run down by Tate Fogelman. And here goes Krause. Also, here goes Chase Dunbar. Now in an epic side-by-side battle with Isaac Nordic. And Chase Dunbar gonna get back around him for second. This is probably the most action-packed heat race so far. And Logan Cole now won the final transfer spot. And he is now in a vulnerable position as Tate Fogelman trying to keep up. We know some more battling here as Derek Krause trying to find a way around Isaac Nordic. Still trying. A few laps to go in this heat race. And Derek Krause goes underneath Isaac Nordic. Pretty good battle for third. 2 laps to go. The field now pretty much just straightening out, as we're on the final lap of this heat race. And M. Garcia's pulled out to a pretty substantial lead. And Logan Cole, who is just sitting in 5th. And it's Adam Garcia who will win heat race number 4. Looks like all 20 bonus points that were up for grabs are going to go to various drivers for winning each heat race. So, Adam Garcia comes on with the win in this heat race, with Chase Dunbar coming in second, Derek Kraus third, Eisen Nordic in fourth, and Logan Cole round the top 5. And there is your final 5 drivers who will advance to the A-Main via heat races. Meanwhile, you got Galen Downey 6th, Falcon Man in 7th, Tim Veens in 8th, Christian Nick is in 9th, Sam Mayer 10th, and Angelica Rush in 11th. And those guys will be going to the B-Main. So, now that all the heat races are complete, it is time to bring on the B-Main. Alrighty, it is B-Main time here at the Eldora Speedway. So, starting on the pole, this one is Austin Hill. Alongside second is Mitch Collins. Third is Rafael Lassard. Fourth is Carson Nosevar. Fifth is Sam Mayer. Sixth is Galen Downey. Seventh is Zane Smith. 8th is Grant Finger. 9th is Cody Cleveland. 10th is Chandler Smith. 11th is Ned Egger. 12th is Spencer Davis. 13th is Christian Neckes. 14th is Tate Fogelman. 15th is Brett Moffitt. 16th is Spencer Boyd. 17th is Paul Jackson. 18th is Taylor Deegan. 19th is Brendan Poole. 20th is also itself. 21st is Corey Roper. 22nd is Tim Veens. 23rd is Angelica Rush. 24th is Cody Robo. 25th is Jennifer Jo Comp. And 26th is Corbin Forrester. Alright, so there you have it. So top 10 drivers will move on to the main event. So it is time for the race for, well, technical term of the race for losers. But, well, there is at least an opportunity for 10 of these drivers to become semi-winners and move on to the A-Main. And of course, once again, a little bit less bonus points are up for grabs for the leaders, but at least there is some. So, with that in mind, Pace Truck pulls off. And green flag is in the air for the B-Main at Eldora Speedway. And once again, leader getting out to a flying start is also getting out in front, with Mitchell Collins on the high lane and Rafael Lassard trying to make up for his slow performance in the heat race. Let's got a couple part-timers up here. Carson Hocevar and Sam Mayer all trying to make it in. But it all still pulls away for now. Yes, all still pulls out to the lead. Meanwhile, a bit of a battle for second brewing here. Sam Mayer looking for a way around Rafael Lassard. And there he goes. Sam Mayer making it around Rafael Lassard. Meanwhile, falling transfer spot battle happening back here now, as various drivers are getting into that transfer spot. But I think now we'll take a look at what's happening up front, because what's happening up front is a little bit more interesting. And look at that, Natalie Decker into the top 10 this time. So also using this opportunity to pull up to the lead. And have a couple of GMS trucks trying to go at it for the lead. Sam Mayer being chased down by Zane Smith. And meanwhile, about for a final transfer spot. It is now Brett Moffitt in 10th, as he's being chased down by underdog driver Brandon Poole. And here goes Brandon Poole now trying to make his way around Brett Moffitt. Pretty good battle. Oh, now they go on the high line, getting overtaken by by Paul Jackson. In fact, these are the couple of the Nice part-time trucks. Couldn't make it in through the heat races, so now here they are, trying to go for it through the B-main, and Allie Decker about to fall out of the final transfer spot as Brett Moffitt is going to overtake her. And Brett Moffitt. Actually, no, Brett Moffitt was nice now. Oh no, it's actually Allie Decker who's now in the final transfer spot. However, he's not going to be in that final transfer spot for much longer, as here is Brendan Poole. Also, not too far up front, Brett Moffitt makes another overtake on Paul Jackson, who's also about to get overtaken by Brendan Poole. And Brendan Poole with the pass on Paul Jackson. And here is Natalie Decker, who has a pretty good shot at making this A-main if she can just get past Paul Jackson. And Natalie Decker with the pass. Let's see if it holds. We still have a decent number of laps to go. Meanwhile, the field getting strung out a bit as Zane Smith has lost a few spots here. And this top 10 doesn't need to battle too much. But at the moment, Austin Hill leads. And of course, not only is he going to go to the A-main, the main event, he also pick up an extra couple bonus points. As Austin Hill is actually pretty up in points. If he wants to stay there, he's got to be better. Meanwhile, back here, Natalie Decker is in no such position now. They're not scoring any points. She is running on a part-time schedule. And she has actually fallen out of the transfer spot after being overtaken by Paul Jackson. And meanwhile, Brett Moffitt trying to stay up here as Brendan Poole continues to make his way up the pack. And it's Paul Jackson now on the final transfer spot. Natalie Decker trying to look in, but she's falling back. 4 laps to go in the B main. And in fact, Natalie Decker is about to get overtaken by Ben Rhodes here. And meanwhile, it's a battle for 9th as Paul Jackson gets around Brett Moffitt. Laps to go. Brett Moffitt now on the final transfer spot. And now Grant Enfinger moving on up as Enfinger trying to chase down Brett Moffitt. 2 laps to go. And here comes Enfinger. He might try to send it here on Brett Moffitt. This is the race to get into the race. Here we go. And Grant Enfinger is going to get around. Wait, no, 1 lap to go in this race. 1 lap to go in the B main. Pulled a Marty Reed there. But Grant Enfinger now more comfortably into that spot. But now Grant Enfinger officially going to make it into the A main. And Austin Hill wins the B main at Eldora. So there you have it. And those are your final 10 drivers who will move on to compete in the main event. So also comes in with the win: Sam Mayer in 2nd, Rafael Assar in 3rd, Cody Quickline 4th, Zane Smith 5th, Mitchell Collins in 6th, Carlos Nozavar in 7th, Paul Jackson in 8th, Brendan Poole 9th, and Grant Enfinger around the top 10. And those are your final 10 drivers to make it to the main event. Alright, and considering the rest of the field, you have Brett Moffitt coming up in 11th, Natalie Decker 12th, Angelica Ross 13th, Cody Robow 14th, Spencer Boyd 15th, Corbin Forrest 16th, Austin Wentz 17th, Chandler Smith 18th, Tim Fogelman 19th, Spencer Davis 20th, Corey Roper 21st, Tim Bean 22nd, Galen Downing 23rd, Jennifer Jo Cobb 24th, Christian Eckes 25th, and Haley Deegan. Wow, I thought Haley Deegan could move back on up, but no, Haley Deegan falls all the way and finishes dead last. Oh dear, now Haley Deegan not with a good result in her debut truck series race, especially on dirt of all things, but that is the result. But luckily for your top 10 finishers, they are moving on. And now it is time to bring on the main event. Alrighty, it is time to unleash the main event itself. So let's now bring on the starting grid. So the pool for this one is Johnny Slaughter alongside him. Second is Jordan Anderson. Third is Adam Garcia. Fourth is Zane Smith. Fifth is Mitchell Collins. Sixth is Tyler Ankrum. Seventh is Ben Rhodes. Eighth is Zach DeLillo. Ninth is Cody Cleveland. 10th is Isaac Nordic. 11th is Logan Cole. 12th is Christian Vargas. 13th is Sam Mayer. 14th is Stuart Friesen. 15th is Paul Jackson. 16th is Matt Crafton. 17th is Marshall Burrow. 18th is Tanner Gray. 19th is Rafael Starr. 20th is John Hunter Nemechek. 21st is Carson Novovar. 22nd is Austin Still. 23rd is Brendan Poole. 24th is Tom Majeski. 25th is Todd Gillen. 26th is Chase Dunbar. 27th is Derek Krause. 28th is William Seaman. 29th is Grant Finger. And 30th is Sheldon Creed. Alright. It is time to go dirt racing in Eldora for the main event. Who will win Eldora? Well, it's time to find out. This will be a rather interesting race. I'm quite keen to find out who's going to come home victorious. So, pace truck pulls off. And green flag is in there for the Eldora Dirt Derby. Johnny Sauter pulling out to the lead to start this one. And Adam Garcia pulling in a second. And the Smithfield Racing drivers trying to get together and do some battle. Adam Garcia, though, not backing off. There's a lot of Fords up here to start this one. Oh, but we got some Chevys now here. As Cody Cleveland getting up here. And here is Ben Rhodes battling with Mitchell Collins. And Ben Rhodes now in the Smithfield Racing sandwich. And you can interpret that in more ways than one. Ben Rhodes, the Smithfield sandwich. No. The Ben Rhodes sandwich made by Smithfield. There we go. But Ben Rhodes, well, I mean, he hasn't been the fastest driver in this year, but he hasn't been the slowest either. He actually won back at New Smyrna, which was a heat race-style format. At the moment, though, Johnny Sauter pulling on the lead. Now, thing is, though, we've seen today, is that a driver can pull out to the lead and stay there because the race is short enough. However, you know, we've had so many short races today. Well, by that I mean the 4 heat races in the B main. That the leader, of course, needs to get in front and then not be overtaken from there. However, now that this is the main event, which is a lot longer, there's a lot more time for the guy in second to catch up to the guy in first. Meanwhile, Mitchell Collins losing his spot here to Logan Cole. So you've got a bunch of Fords in the top 4, and then you have, or top 3 actually, as Logan Cole about to get into the top 3 here as he overtakes Ben Rhodes. And Logan Cole up to 4th. I mean 3rd. Meanwhile, Adam Garcia trying to chase down Johnny Sauter. He's actually losing a bit of ground each lap. So I guess Johnny Sauter is just that much more powerful compared to Adam Garcia. So Johnny Sauter, who already has a win this season from the Able Super Speedway, on its way to getting a second win on the dirt. Adam Garcia, however, he doesn't have a win this season, and he is trying to keep up. Meanwhile, the field getting pretty strung out as Mitchell Collins hang on in fourth. And right now it is Johnny Sauter who's dominating this race. Now, lap traffic though might come into play, maybe. This is a pretty small track, half a mile. But Johnny Sauter is pulling away. You know, last year's edition of this race wasn't even a truck race. You know, the truck series didn't actually come to Eldora last season, so instead, the Siemens National Series decided to come here and race. But now the truck series back racing Eldora. So the Siemens National Series not racing Eldora this season. So, but there was a bit of a lead change, because in last year's race it was Ryan Preece who led at the start, but then he got overtaken by Ed Wood, who then dominated the rest of the race and won. Now Johnny Sauter in a similar position as Ryan Preece was, but he's instead pulling away. Now of course the trucks do race a bit differently than the Siemens National Series cars. And Johnny Sauter's been driving these things for a long time, so he knows these trucks very well. Meanwhile, Adam Garcia, who hasn't quite had as much truck experience as Johnny Sauter, is still a pretty decent driver, but unfortunately struggling a little bit in second. I mean, second is still very good, but you know, nothing feels better than a win. And right now Johnny Sauter is still leading after 20 laps in this race. I guess nothing about Eldora, it's a pretty short race. You know, 60 laps can fly by pretty quickly at this place. And it's a bit weird how that's the case, because Eldora, it's not the fastest track in the world, you know. It's definitely not as fast as tracks like Bristol or Warrington or other mile and a halves. But seems to be pretty fast today. You know, also other mile and a halves like Smyrna and Five Flag Speedway. Meanwhile, Adam Garcia is still there in second. And it feels starting to get pretty spread out. And lapped traffic a pretty decent gap away. But so far, Johnny Sauter has led every lap in this race. I thought for sure that the guy in second would be able to catch up to him, Adam Garcia, but no. Instead, he's just staying right where he is. He's not really gaining. Well, I mean, he gains a bit, then he loses a bit, then he gains a bit, then he loses a bit. Now he's actually back an entire second from Johnny Sauter. So we'll see if Johnny Sauter can keep this up once he gets into lap traffic. If he does, this race might not even be long enough for that. Well, what has been a pretty action-packed season for this series has come down to a bit of a dud here at Eldora. I mean, to be fair though, the novelty of this race it's come down a little bit, you know. Like when this race first happened back in 2013, you know, it was so cool seeing the trucks race on dirt. But now, some years later, it's not quite the race that it used to be. I don't know if that's just because of the drivers or the way these trucks handle, but yeah. Then again, there's still a bit of a novelty, you know. At least for the season, it's the only truck series race on dirt. Now that being said, there might be plans of more dirt races in the future. But for this year, it is Eldora once again playing host to the only dirt race on the truck series season. I say truck series season because there might be a dirt track planned for the other two series. Meanwhile, though, Johnny Sawyer continues to pull away. That being said, however, he might eventually come up to lap his ThorSport teammate. At the moment, though, this field is quite spread out. Not much going on, if I'm honest. Well, maybe there's nothing too bad in this race going by so fast, because I'll be honest, it's not the most exciting thing in the world. The fields mostly just stayed where they are. From when they started this race, there was some, well, actually, is there any battling going on? I'm so busy paying attention to what's happening up front. Well, we do have a bit of a battle here between 15th and 16th. There's some wild guys getting around Austin Hill. So it seems the battle is going on near the back of the fields. As actually, it is Stuart Friesen is now currently running in last. Stuart Friesen, he's a bit of a dirt racer. Not sure why he's all the way back here. Yeah, it is quite something when you got a ThorSport truck leading the race, and I've got a ThorSport truck in last. Yeah. That's gonna be an interesting conversation back at the shop. How did one driver on the team do so well and the other driver did so poorly? As Johnny saw it in a bit, likely going to lap his teammate. I guess now we'll take a look at what other battles are going on. Also, the pretty good battle between, or pretty back and forth battle for 15th between Austin Hill and Christian Vargas. I will say though, this back here is going to get interesting. As Johnny Sawyer just inching closer and closer, slapping his teammate. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a battle here. As funnily enough, Grant Ainfinger wasn't last for a little while. It's starting to pick up the pace a little bit, probably because his teammate is about to lap his other teammate in a bit. This could get interesting. And Johnny Sauter, not too far now from lapping Matt Crafton. A sight that you don't really see, or don't usually see, a teammate getting lapped by a teammate. Not long now, though. Johnny Sauter's got a pretty big gap on Adam Garcia. And as long as he doesn't get slowed up by his teammate, at this point Johnny Sauter just has it in the bag. We haven't quite had a driver this season lead an entire race. We have a couple drivers come close, but you know, no actual race there's been yet where drivers led every single lap. You know, we've seen drivers lead a lot of laps, but then at some point they lose the lead, either very late in the game, or they just get the lead early in the game and then just lead the whole rest of the race. Johnny Sauter has led every lap since the drop of the green flag. And Johnny Sauter actually now in a side-by-side battle with Doug DeLillo here. Very interesting stuff happening at the tail end of the field. Is that Doug DeLillo who's running in last? So 8 laps to go in the Eldora Derby. And actually, the lap traffic has slowed up Johnny Sauter by quite a lot. What is happening? It's taken an entire race to get to this point, but Johnny Sauter is falling off a little bit, and Adam Garcia is gaining. And very late in the game, Johnny Sauter is falling, and Adam Garcia is making the pass. And after 50 laps of nothing happening, we have an overtake for the lead as Adam Garcia overtakes Johnny Sauter with 6 laps to go. Wow. A lead change has occurred. Maybe that was a strategy on Adam Garcia. He sat behind Johnny Sauter, saving his tires, and then pounced very late in the game. And the pouncing has worked, as Adam Garcia has successfully overtaken Johnny Sauter and is on his way to getting his first win of the season. 4 laps to go at Eldora. He still has to hold off Johnny Sauter though, and he's got some lap traffic ahead of him. And while this has been a pretty unentertaining race, this will be an entertaining finish to the race. 3 laps to go, Adam Garcia though. Johnny Sauter catching back up as Adam Garcia has to hold off Johnny Sauter for another 3 laps. And Adam Garcia also trying to find a way around Doug DeLillo to put him a lap down to stay ahead of Johnny Sauter. 2 laps to go. Adam Garcia having to hold off Johnny Sauter and also try not to get held up behind Zachary DeLillo. And here we go, warm up to go at Eldora. Adam Garcia. Well, he's pretty much sandwiched, but that is okay as we have half lap to go now. Johnny Sauter trying to send it here, but Adam Garcia is going to hold him off and will win the Eldora Derby and get his first win of the season. And there you go. The other Nintendo truck has won a race this season. And funnily enough, it was Christian Vargas. No, it was Chase Dunbar the number 46, who won a half-mile track at the 5 Flag Speedway. Then now, Adam Garcia wins at another mile-and-a-half track. Of course, this one, though, was covered in dirt as opposed to pavement. So, hey, with that in mind, it's now just Adam Garcia's teammate that's to get a win. But Adam Garcia is victorious today at Eldora. Well, it was a pretty lackluster race for a while there. It wasn't until the very end of the race where action happened. And Johnny Sauter, once again, a driver leads a lot of laps, but can't lead all the laps. In this case, Johnny Sauter is able to lead the majority of laps in this race, but just couldn't lead the last laps, and instead that honor goes to Adam Garcia, who wins at Eldora. So with that, Johnny Sauter still comes home with a good second place finish. Logan Cole comes home in third. Mitchell Collins in fourth. So hey, Mitchell Collins, who still has to win a race, comes home in fourth, which isn't too bad. Ben Rose comes home in fifth. Sam Mayer in sixth. Paul Jackson seventh. Redfield started eighth. Cody Kuflak ninth. Derek Krause 10th. Sheldon Creed 11th. Carson Savar in 12th. Zane Smith 13th. Brendan Poole 14th. Christian Broadcast 15th. Austin Hill 16th. Chase Dunbar 17th. Jordan Anderson 18th. Isaac Nordic 19th. Tyler Ancrum 20th. Tanner Gray 21st. Tom Jesse 22nd. John Timacek 23rd. William Seaman 24th. Grant Anfinger 25th. Marshall Burrow 26th. Stuart Friesen 27th. Todd Gill 28th. Zach Dillo 29th. And Matt Crafton rounds up. Wait, what? Matt Crafton finished? Strange. Whatever, Matt Crafton comes home in 30th and last, so... Well, anyways, that's it from Eldora. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.